試験監督者は音量及び室内の聞こえ具合を確認してください。2024年度第2回実用英語技能検定準1級リスニングテスト。ただいまから準1級リスニングテストを行います。これからお話しすることについて質問は受けませんので、よく注意して聞いてください。なお、リスニングテスト放送中に音飛びや騒音があった場合は、発生した問題のトラックの始めに戻し、やり直します。しかしながら、万が一、教室監督者が気づかない場合は、速やかに手を挙げてお知らせ願います。このテストでは、テストの方法と注意事項がすべて英語で放送されます。
The listening test for the grade Pre-1 examination is about to begin. Listen carefully to the directions. You will not be permitted to ask questions during the test. This test has 3 parts. All of the questions in these 3 parts are multiple choice questions. For each question, choose the best answer from among the 4 choices written in your test booklet. On your answer sheet, find the number of the question and mark your answer. You are permitted to take notes for every part of this listening test. Now, here are the directions for Part 1. In this part, you will hear 12 dialogues, number 1 through number 12. Each dialogue will be followed by 1 question. For each question, you will have 10 seconds to choose the best answer and mark your answer on your answer sheet. The dialogue and the question will be given only once.
Now we will begin the grade Pre-1 listening test. Number 1.
There was another robbery in the neighborhood this week. That's the 3rd time this month.
It's really frightening. I'm glad the police have increased patrols in the area.
The Martins just got a dog to protect their home. It's a really large, aggressive one.
I'd rather look into a home security system. Alarms are not as expensive as they used to be, you know.
Well, we can't afford to move to a different neighborhood, so that might be our best option.
Question. What does the woman suggest?
Number 2.
Professor Quinn, I've finished with the quizzes from Thursday's class that you asked me to grade. Is there anything else I can help with before the semester break?
Actually, yes. I have the slides ready for the first lecture after the break, but I need some created for the following class. Can I email you my notes and have you put them into presentation slides?
Sure. Anything else?
No, but that will be a huge help. Thanks.
Question. What does the professor ask the man to do?
Number 3.
Now that the kids have moved out, we should make better use of their rooms.
We can change Jason's room for sure. But I have a feeling Maya won't like living so far away, so she might be back.
Do you think so? We should leave her room as it is then?
I think that would be best. We could put a desk into Jason's room, though. That way you wouldn't have to work on the kitchen table every night.
Question. What does the woman say about Maya?
Number 4.
Did you see the job posting for the team leader position?
No, I haven't been checking the job postings.
I think you'd make a great team leader. It would be more responsibility, but you've shown a lot of leadership in the past few months.
I suppose I might be good at it. but I don't feel like I've been here long enough to move into a role where I'm managing others.
You should still apply.
Well, it's certainly something I'll consider.
Question. What does the woman say she will do?
Number 5.
Thanks for bringing me to the nature center. I loved the demonstration about bees and their hives.
You know, I used to have my own hives. It was a fairly expensive hobby, but all of that delicious honey was worth it.
Why don't you do it anymore? Did you develop an allergy? That happened to my sister.
No, when I moved houses, there wasn't enough space on the property. I sold all of my equipment to another beekeeper.
Too bad. Sounds like you enjoyed it.
Question. Why did the man get rid of his bees?
Number 6.
Mom, have you ever considered moving to an assisted living facility?
You mean a retirement home? I like living here. Besides, it'd be expensive.
We could afford it if you sold this place. I just think being on your own is going to get harder and harder. What if you fell down and hurt yourself?
There are plenty of people I could call for help.
I guess so, but I'm worried about you, Mom.
I understand. Let me think about it.
Question. What does the man think?
Number 7.
Okay, my suitcase is ready to go. Have you started packing yet?
No, it'll only take a few minutes. I'll do it before we leave in the morning.
Why don't you start now? You always throw your clothes in your suitcase and they get wrinkled. And then you forget things like pajamas because you're in such a hurry.
Well, you sometimes leave important things behind too.
Hardly ever. I make up a list of things to take and check them off so I know I have everything.
Question. What does the woman want the man to do?
Number 8.
Hi, how did things go at your conference?
Not great.
Was it poorly attended?
Not at all. But they added more speakers on the day I was presenting my research, so my talk was cut short.
That's too bad. I know you put a lot of work into it. Did you take the intern with you too?
Yes, she helped with the data analysis for the slides, but those all had to be cut.
Well, it wasn't your fault. I hope things go better next time.
Question. Why is the man upset?
Number 9.
Good evening. I'd like a table for 4.
Certainly, sir. We'll have an indoor table available in around 30 minutes. If you'd prefer a table on the patio, I can seat you immediately.
Well, the rest of my party won't be here for another 20 minutes, so I don't mind waiting.
Excellent. You can have a seat at the bar in the meantime if you'd like. I'll let you know when your table is ready.
Thank you. That sounds great.
Question. What will the man do next?
Number 10.
What's the matter, honey?
Oh, I'm just frustrated with my novel. I've barely accomplished anything these last few days.
Really? I thought you were just finishing up the ending.
I was, but a couple of days ago, I realized that several chapters in the middle needed to be completely rewritten.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Yes, and to do it, I need to introduce an additional character. I just can't come up with a suitable one, though.
Well, hang in there.
Question. What is the man's problem?
Number 11.
You're looking worried, Charlie. Are you okay?
No. The final exam for our history course is in 3 days, but I haven't even started studying for it yet.
I wouldn't worry about it. Professor Simon said the exam won't be too tough.
Yes, but there's still a lot to remember. And history is my weakest subject.
Why don't we study together? We could quiz each other on the main topics. That always helps me remember things.
Good idea. Let's meet tomorrow. I'll text you to arrange a time.
Question. What will the man and woman do tomorrow?
Number 12.
Jane, I'm going to take up weight training. Those internet training videos are really inspiring.
That's great, but you should check out a few gyms before deciding on one.
Why's that?
Some gyms are mainly designed for serious bodybuilders who go 5 or 6 times a week. At first, you should go somewhere that caters to a broader range of abilities.
Okay. And would you be able to teach me?
I recommend getting lessons from a professional. It's easy to get injured if you don't use the machines properly.
Question. What is one thing the woman tells the man?
Here are the directions for Part 2. In this part, you will hear 6 passages, A through F. Each passage will be followed by 2 questions, number 13 through number 24. For each question, you will have 10 seconds to choose the best answer and mark your answer on your answer sheet. The passage and the questions will be given only once. Now, let's begin.
A. The Lucayans. The Lucayans were the indigenous people of the Bahamas, a group of islands in the western Atlantic Ocean. Spanish colonizers who arrived in the 1400s in search of riches believed these islands were essentially useless, as they did not contain gold. The colonizers enslaved large numbers of Lucayans to work on other islands. This, in combination with the introduction of diseases, led to the near extinction of the Lucayans by the mid-16th century. In the 1800s, a large number of Lucayan artifacts, including wood carvings and canoes, were discovered in the Bahamas. By the late 20th century, however, most of these had been destroyed by rising sea levels, as well as construction, agricultural development, and efforts to mine the islands for bat droppings, which are a valuable fertilizer. Nevertheless, archaeologists believe underwater caves around the islands contain undiscovered artifacts that can add to scholars' knowledge of Lucayan culture.
Questions. Number 13. What did Spanish colonizers believe about the islands of the Bahamas? Number 14. According to the speaker, what is true about most known Lucayan artifacts?
B. History of the teddy bear. Teddy bears have been popular with children worldwide since their invention in the early 1900s. While the stuffed toys are generally considered lovable symbols of comfort and joy, they initially sparked some concerns. As teddy bears became a fixture in toy closets, there were fears that playing with them rather than human-like dolls would result in girls losing their maternal instinct. Some people even predicted this would lead to falling birth rates. While such fears eventually disappeared, author John Muallim suggests the acceptance of teddy bears did, in fact, correlate with another shift in society. As urbanization brought people away from rural areas where animals like brown bears were a threat, they came to view the bears as cute rather than ferocious. Muallim notes that, more recently, a similar phenomenon has occurred with polar bears, as climate change-related habitat loss has led people to see them as delicate victims rather than terrifying predators.
Questions. Number 15. According to the speaker, what did some people once believe about teddy bears? Number 16. What point does John Muallim make about polar bears?
C. Listening to languages. There are thought to be around 7,000 languages used around the world, and these languages are often grouped into families. The languages in each family share similarities and are believed to have evolved from the same original language. Much of the research into categorizing languages has focused on language structures, but a recent study took a different approach. The researchers analyzed the sounds of hundreds of languages, comparing their sonority, or loudness. The study's results suggest that languages that developed in warm areas are louder than those that developed in cold ones. One explanation for this is that the air is drier in cold climates. Producing louder sounds requires vibrating the vocal cords more, which is harder to do in dry air. An opposing theory relates to the fact that in many tropical areas, sounds bend upward while moving through the air at low altitudes. Higher sonority sounds carry through the air more easily, which explains why they may be preferable in warm areas.
Questions. Number 17. What does the speaker say about the relationships between languages? Number 18. What did a recent study suggest? D. Race walking. Despite the fact that race walking has been an Olympic sport since the early 1900s, it attracts far fewer spectators than running events. The sport is often considered to be easy or is wrongly thought to be something that unsuccessful runners end up doing. In fact, race walking requires a technique that is very different from running. It was also once one of America's most popular sports. Race walking is believed to have originated in England during the 1800s, when wealthy people employed servants known as footmen to walk alongside their carriages. As a form of entertainment, some people had their footmen race each other and placed bets on who would win. This developed into a spectator sport known as pedestrianism, which later found its way to the United States. There, it gained widespread popularity, with hundreds of spectators going to see events held in indoor arenas. It also produced some of the nation's first celebrity athletes.
Questions. Number 19. What does the speaker say about race walking? Number 20. What is one thing we learn about pedestrianism?
E. The Frankfurt Kitchen. Designed in 1926 by the Austrian architect Margarete Schütte-Lihotzky, the Frankfurt Kitchen was highly influential in the development of cooking spaces. To reduce the amount of physical effort needed and save time, she created a design where all cupboards, the stove, and the sink were within easy reach. The kitchens also had modern electric stoves instead of wood-burning ones, and every element of the design had a purpose. Even the cupboards and drawers' blue paint was chosen because researchers believed at the time that flies avoided blue surfaces. Previously, most kitchens had been combined with living rooms, and people did everything from bathing to sleeping in them. However, the Frankfurt Kitchen was entirely separate. While Schütte-Lihotzky's intention was to improve women's quality of life, there were several complaints. One was that women were unable to be with their families and watch their children while preparing meals.
Questions. Number 21. What is one thing that was special about the design of the Frankfurt Kitchen? Number 22. Why did some people complain about the Frankfurt Kitchen? F. Working together. Norway and Indonesia may be different in terms of geographical location, climate, culture, and population. However, both nations are playing an important role in addressing climate change. They have signed an agreement to reduce carbon emissions from deforestation. According to officials, deforestation is slowing in Indonesia, and the country aims to eventually store more carbon than it releases. Under the agreement, Norway will financially support such sustainability efforts as they show results. The program involves eco-friendly forest management efforts and replanting of forests, including carbon-dense mangroves in Indonesia. As the rates of deforestation and CO2 emissions decrease, Norway will pay more funds. The two countries say they will exchange technical knowledge and that they will get local communities in Indonesia involved in helping protect and manage forests. Some people hope the agreement will open the way for other countries or the private sector to support other conservation programs in the future.
Questions. Number 23. What is one objective of the agreement between Norway and Indonesia? Number 24. What is one feature of the program?
Finally, here are the directions for Part 3. In this part, you will hear 5 passages, G through K. The passages represent real-life situations and may contain sound effects. Each passage will have one question, number 25 through number 29. Before each passage, you will have 10 seconds to read the situation and question written in your test booklet. After you hear the passage, you will have 10 seconds to choose the best answer and mark your answer on your answer sheet. The passage will be given only once. Now, let's begin.
G. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 25.
Good morning, passengers. We have updates regarding today's activities. First, as the weather has cleared up, the 10 a.m. yoga class has been moved from the studio to the sun deck, where you can enjoy the sea breeze. Next, the trivia challenge in the Grand Lounge will begin as scheduled at 2 p.m. There has, however, been a time change for the cooking demonstration. It will begin at 11:30 a.m. in the Paradise Lounge. Finally, the jazz performance at 9 p.m. will take place on the covered rear deck, as rain is forecasted for tonight. We apologize for any inconvenience.
Now mark your answer on your answer sheet.
H. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 26.
This is the WJTX traffic report. I'm afraid there are some problems around Brana Airport today. Conditions are smooth on Halliburton Road coming from the south, but drivers heading in from the north end will face delays. If you're coming from there, traffic on Highway 9 is completely blocked due to a collision. However, although there are lane restrictions due to construction on Appleton Boulevard, traffic there is only slightly slower than usual. From the city center, there are delays on Dundas Road, so it's advisable to make a slight detour using Regent Parkway, which is relatively clear right now.
Now mark your answer on your answer sheet.
I. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 27.
The most notable feature of your hand cream is that it really stands out on the shelf. The striking, unique font used for the product name catches customers' eyes, and the black and white colours of the box give it a very bold image. The flower illustration is adorable, but it's lacking in sophistication compared with some of your competitors' products. As for the shape of the bottle, it's very contemporary and attractive, although the production costs of such a unique design must be rather high.
Now mark your answer on your answer sheet.
J. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 28.
Thank you for calling the passport office. Please note that due to the large number of applications currently being processed, it may take 8 to 10 weeks to receive your passport. If you are calling because you've been contacted by us regarding your application, press 1. If you are calling about the requirements for a new passport application, please press 2. To find out the progress of an ongoing application, press 3. For all other inquiries, please press 4. Our operators are currently very busy, so it may take some time to connect you.
Now, mark your answer on your answer sheet.
K. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 29.
The Omni Power is top of the line and can handle almost any job. It's $500 for non-members and $450 for members. Next up, the drill legend is a quality drill that will deal with most building jobs. It's usually $350, but is currently offered at $280 for members and non-members. Next, we have the Power P3. It's $320, and, like the drill legend, it's solid and durable. Finally, this is the Bit Plus. It's suitable for simple DIY tasks and only costs $230, but it can't match the others in terms of quality or durability.
Now mark your answer on your answer sheet.
Your time is up. Stop writing and wait quietly until the answer sheets have been collected.
では、時間です。筆記用具を置いて答えの記入をやめてください。これにて試験終了となります。公正なる試験実施にご協力いただきありがとうございました。質問がある方は直ちに試験監督者にお申し出ください。試験監督者に連絡いたします。これより最終の受験者数を確認してください。その後、回答用紙を回収し、枚数の確認を行ってください。なお、問題冊子は回収しません。受験者数と回答用紙の枚数の一致を確認してから解散の指示を出してください。受験者の皆さんは身の回りをよく点検し、忘れ物がないように注意してください。受験者の皆さんが退出するときは別の教室が試験中の場合もありますので、声を出さず会場出口まで静かに退出してください。それでは解散の指示を出すまで静かにお待ちください。